You ever wonder why that is? Something goes wrong at work, we launch this whole investigation, and it just ends up with a lot of finger pointing and maybe a quick fix that doesn't really fix anything. It's super common and super frustrating, right? Well, the answer is often right there in the very first step we take. So today, we're going to break down how to craft the perfect problem statement for what's called a learning team. This one little tool can completely transform your investigations from a blame game into a real opportunity for some breakthrough insights.
Here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the basics, then look at where things usually go wrong. After that, we'll introduce a much better approach, give you a practical blueprint to write your own, and finally, show you why this shift in thinking is so incredibly powerful. All right, let's jump in.
Okay, first things first. What exactly is a problem statement? You got to think of it as the absolute foundation for any solution that's actually gonna work.
The beauty of a good problem statement is just how simple it is. Our source material puts it perfectly. It's just 1 or 2 sentences that get right to the heart of a real-world challenge your team is facing. That's it. Its whole job is to get everyone aiming at the exact same target.
And here it is, the golden rule. If you remember one thing, make it this. A problem statement describes the problem, not the solution. We all do it, right? We jump ahead, we think we already know the answer. But if you start with a solution, you spend all your time trying to make the problem fit. And that is a recipe for failure.
Which brings us to the villain of our story today, the common blame trap. This is exactly where most investigations go off the rails before they've even really started. Take a look at this. Does this sound familiar? The worker did not follow the procedure. Oh man, this kind of statement is a total disaster. Why? Because it's already decided the cause. It was the worker, and it's already got a solution. Just, retrain the worker. It completely shuts down any real curiosity, and worse, it creates this culture of fear, where nobody feels safe enough to tell you what really happened.
So if that's the wrong way to do it, what's the right way? Well, that's where the learning-focused approach comes in, and it's a total game changer for getting real insight. And boom, here's the difference, side by side. Just look at the good statement. It doesn't point a finger at anyone. Instead, it states an observation. People are bypassing steps, and it sets a really clear goal. We need to understand why. It's an open invitation for the team to explore the real-world challenges and the tough trade-offs people are making every single day just to get the job done.
So what makes a good learning statement? Well, it really boils down to these 4 things. It focuses on the system, not the person. It's curious about that gap between the official rules, work as imagined, and how work actually gets done. It's open-ended, which encourages curiosity. And the tone is totally neutral and non-judgmental, which makes it safe for people to actually talk.
Okay, this all sounds great, but how do you actually write one? Let's get practical. Here's a blueprint you can use to build your own.
The process is actually pretty straightforward. First, get your team in a room and just brainstorm. Ask all the why questions. Then, you've got to get really specific about the pain point you found. Step 3, make it human. How does this problem actually affect people? And finally, boil all that great thinking down into 1 or 2 clear, powerful sentences. But as you're writing, you got to watch out for a few common traps that can sneak in and totally undermine all your hard work.
Our sources point to these 4 big ones. First, don't just focus on a symptom instead of the real underlying problem. Second, don't bake a solution into your statement. That comes later. Third, don't fixate on a single cause before you've even investigated. And last, and we've said it before, never, ever assign blame. Blame is the absolute enemy of learning.
And look, when you get this right, the change it's huge. It's not just about better wording on a page, it's about unlocking a whole new level of success for your team.
I really love this quote from our source material because it just nails it. A great problem statement isn't an accusation. It's an invitation. It says to your team, hey, we've got a really tough problem here, and we need your expertise to help us figure it out.
And that is the ultimate payoff. When you take blame off the table and you focus on curiosity, you create psychological safety. And that, right there, is the magic ingredient. It's what allows people to finally speak up, to share their secret workarounds, and to reveal the messy, complex, systemic issues that are the true source of the problem. That's where real learning happens.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's a common, blamey statement you hear at your own job? You know the one. And how could you reframe it using what we've talked about today to turn it from an accusation into a genuine opportunity to learn and get better?